Real hated working late, especially tonight. The office building felt wrong, empty, echoing. He sat alone, fluorescent lights humming above. He rubbed his arms, shivering. There was a cold spot near his desk, always there. Real tried to ignore it. He focused on his work, each keystroke loud in the silence, but a feeling of unease crept up his spine, like being watched. He glanced over his shoulder into the shadows under his desk. Nothing. Rial took a deep breath. He was being stupid, just stress. He had a deadline, that was all. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled in his stomach. It felt icy cold, like the spot by his desk. The hairs on Real's neck stood on end. He could have sworn he heard something. A whisper coming from the hallway outside his office door. He listened intently. Silence. Just the hum of the building. He tried to dismiss it, but then he heard it again. A faint whisper, barely audible. His name. Real slowly pushed back his chair, the sound seeming deafening in the quiet. He walked cautiously towards the door. He put his ear to the cold metal. The whispering stopped. Silence pressed in on him. He hesitated, then quickly opened the door. The hallway was empty, dark. The hair on his arm stood on end. He was definitely being watched. Real hurried back to his desk, his heart pounding. He tried to focus on his work, but the whispers echoed in his mind. He glanced at his computer screen. The document he was working on was open, but something was wrong. The words were changing before his eyes, sentences rearranging themselves. Then a single line appeared at the top of the document. Leave. Real blinked, his mind reeling. It had to be a glitch, a virus. He tried to shut down the computer, but it wouldn't respond. He watched in horror as the word leave began to blink on the screen, growing larger and larger. It was like the computer itself was watching him, urging him to get out. Real stumbled back from the desk, knocking over his chair. He had to get out of there. He spun towards the door, his blood turning to ice. The door was gone. The entire wall was gone, replaced by a swirling vortex of colours. He could hear the whispers again, louder now, coming from the vortex. They seemed to beckon him closer. He took a step back, fear paralysing him. He had to get help. He turned to grab his phone, but it was gone too. Real was trapped. He was alone, with only the whispers and the swirling vortex for company. He closed his eyes, willing himself to wake up from this nightmare. But when he opened them again, the vortex was closer. And the whispers, they were saying his name, over and over again.